Okay, I've had some comments about the cutting and pulling the flights. It was a little bit hard to follow because I put those clips in a number of different videos. So I've pulled all those clips out and put them all together into one video. Try and cover the whole gambit of what I do. Just to recap, I'm in Brisbane. Brisbane has a subtropical climate. We get very hot, wet summers and cool, dry winters, so we race our pigeons during winter. So now's a good time, it's a good day, so I think I'll go down, we'll have a look at these flights again. Young hens, let's have a bit of a look at their wings. This hen's got 4 to go, so I'll just cut the one flight on that one. I like to cut them about 40 mil down. Obviously you've got to do both wings. That. This is a later bred hen. She's only done the one flight. She only dropped the one flight. That's the earliest that you could possibly cut them. They have to at least drop one of their primary flights before you can cut any of them. If you don't do that, or if you don't wait like that, the feathers could be blood feathers. They could have blood in them, and cutting them when they've got blood in them is obviously not good. So I'll do 2 on her. She won't molt out in time. This is the problem with later bred pigeons. So I need to start making these pigeons work by the time we get to March. And she won't have molted all of her flights, but at least the last 2 will be up, and that will give her some protection. Will give the wing some protection while she's working or flying. This is the dark pied hen that we've looked at before. She's still got the 5 flights to go. So once again I'll do 2 on her as well. Cock here's got 4 to go. I'll only do 1 on him. This cock's only got 3 to go, so we'll only do 1 on him. This bloke's got 5 to go. Cut 2 flights. Both wings. A few feathers in the bowl already. Putting through the little window. Nice pile of feathers. That's it all done. Take these over and put them in the compost heap. Okay, in the compost heap they can go. Okay, it's time to pull some of the flights that I cut 10 days ago. So we'll do 2 in this bloke. Simple matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all out. Just got 1 flight to do on this pigeon. Thing is just to pull them straight out, no twisting. Just grab the flight, hold it back up here, quick tug and it's out. Two to go, same thing, just hold the wing, pull, pull. Just 1 on this cock. Done. Just a same afternoon that I pulled the flights. Just goes to show you it doesn't do them any harm whatsoever. They wouldn't be out flapping their wings like that if their wings were sore. Okay, it's the middle of March, sorry, it's the middle of February out here in Brisbane. It's very hot and humid. The days are slowly starting to shorten. It's taking a long time. Going to have a look at the flights. It's been 24 days since I last checked the flights, or since I pulled those flights that I'd cut previously. So let's have a look at some of these youngsters. So this is a young cock. You can see here, only did the one flight on his. He's looking really good. So he's replaced, what's that, 3, 6, 7 flights have been replaced. He's grown his 8th, and his 10th, the last one that I pulled out, is coming through, and his 9th has dropped as well. So he's well on his way to growing his wing back in time for the season. Other wings exactly the same, feathers look in really good condition. Okay, here's another young cock. So he's regrowing 6 flights. He's got 1 flight left up there. That's probably the 9th flight. Looks like I pulled just the 1 flight on this bloke too. So they're well advanced, you can see that. The last flight, the 10th flight, the one I pulled's coming up. They've just got 1 to drop and the rest are growing. Obviously got them on a good protein diet at the moment, giving them all they can eat. Got to grow these flights back in good condition, which they currently look to be. There's another young blue cock. They're all pretty much the same. 6 flights growing, 1 to drop. The 2 flights I pulled on this fella are both coming through nicely. Same on that wing. The blue cock, same sort of thing. Yeah, just 1 flight left to drop. 2 I cut are coming through. Starting to see that little tick in the end of the feathers, which is an indication that it had been pulled. It's an older cock, 2-year-old cock. No difference though. 6 flights regrown, 1 to drop. 2 pull flights coming through nicely. Some of the cocks. Have a look at some of the hens just for a bit of variation. Yeah, exactly the same. This one's regrowing 7 flights, and got the one coming through I pulled, 1 to drop, same sort of thing. They're all doing pretty much the same thing. Another one, exactly the same. 1 left to drop. A 10th flight coming through nicely. Another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that flight will be up. That pigeon will have a very stable wing. Be able to start flying quite comfortably. None of these birds are flying at the moment. Just walking around the ground with their flights like this, which is helping them to molt very quickly. This bloke's got 2 left to drop. The 2 I pulled are both coming through, but he'll come along quite nicely as well, one of the younger ones. Same, pretty much the same with this one. He's got 2 left to drop. So they're either got 1 or 2 left to drop, and here it is the middle of February, so we don't need them to start working until sort of the end of March. So they got a month and a half left to grow those flights. Everything's coming along quite nicely this time of the year. Okay, it's been 4 weeks since I last checked these pigeons, so we'll have another check today, see how the flights are going. I'd emphasise that these pigeons have had no medication other than they were treated for worms and lice back before Christmas, but they've had no other medication. They're looking very good, very pleased with them. Flights are coming along nicely. I'd also particularly emphasise that they've never had any antibiotics. Their parents haven't had any and they haven't had any. I'm trying to build natural immunity in these pigeons and I think they're coming along quite nicely. Let's have a look at some of these. Okay, there's Blue Hen. Yeah, you can see there she's got 2 new flights that I pulled. They're about more than halfway up. Still got 2 to go, so she's one of the younger pigeons. Same on that wing. They haven't been flying much, which I don't want them to with short wings like that. However, that doesn't mean they can't fly. I had a goshawk attack them here the other day and they all went up for a fly, went quite high, which I wasn't pleased with. I don't like them flying with little short wings like this. Might make them bleed, and I find if a feather bleeds it's never much good. But no, they're coming along quite nicely. They didn't stay up long anyway. The goshawk didn't come back. I don't think he will be coming back actually. Yeah, that's pretty good. They're looking pretty good. So this is 4 weeks. At 4 weeks the flights are, you'd have to say, more than half grown. Another couple of weeks that pigeon will be able to fly quite well with a good stable wing. Very pleased with that. Might as well have a look at a couple of the cocks while we're here. Cock. Let me just feather a little bit there, catching him. That's fine. You can see there's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's still that 8th flight to come through there, and 1 to drop. So still a couple more weeks away before they're going to be really good. But I'm very pleased with them. Those flights are coming along very nicely, and they're looking really good. That's one of the pleasing things. There's no sickness in the loft. I've had no exposure to other pigeons, although having said that, I've got a fairly big team of feral pigeons around here, and every now and again a couple of them join in. I do my best to get rid of them as quick as I can, but you're always worried they're going to transfer something across to your pigeons. But touch wood, so far they've been okay. I do spray the loft out with an insecticide for pigeon flies. In the warmer weather here, with the warmer climate, pigeon flies are a problem. They suck the pigeon's blood. They live on the pigeon. We call them flat flies. They sit perfectly flat and can slip underneath the feathers. They can transmit a blood disease. So the last thing you want is pigeon flies. Pinholes in the flight feathers is another major problem they cause. But I don't think I've got any in here. I have seen the odd 1 or 2, but I think they died pretty quick with the insecticide. Okay, it's the last day of February here in Brisbane. Officially the last day of summer. Still quite warm here, about 30 degrees. But it is starting to cool down of a night time. It's been 5 weeks. Been 5 weeks since I pulled those flights. So we'll have a look today and see what sort of progress they're making. Blue cock. See there, the 2 flights. I would have only done 1 on this cock. So what's he got there? 3, 6, 9, 10s. Yeah, so he's about 3/4 grown. The flight that I pulled, the natural flights are coming up. So, you know, another week and he'll be pretty much there, ready to start doing a bit of flying. Pied cock. What I don't like about white feathers, even though I've messed them up a bit. They're so weak. You can see the flight I did there is almost fully grown. There's a bend in that flight. Looks like he's still got one to drop. I've done 2 flights there by the looks of things, and he's got that 1 flight to go that he has to molt naturally. And you can see this cock here. He's got one to drop, and the rest are coming along. This flight here, 3/4 growing. Another week, it'll be 6 weeks. So yeah, about 7 weeks before they're fully growing out. But he's still going to have a very good stable wing, ready for doing a bit of exercise. Starting tossing. Now these blokes in here, all looking pretty good. Yeah, same sort of thing. Flight that's been pulled is pretty much fully grown. We've got 1 inch to go, perhaps. That one there, maybe half an inch to go on that side. The rest of the flight's coming along quite nicely. Have a look at some of the hens. Blue hen. Yeah, the flight I've done, see quite plainly there. But she's got 1 left to drop. The rest are coming through. What's she got? 3, 6, 6, 9. There's 1 missing there. It's obviously dropped. It's got to grow. But yeah, they're coming on quite nicely. Yeah, maybe 1 inch or so to go. They're all a little bit different, aren't they? Some are fully grown, some aren't. Tail's a little bit messy. Yeah, 1 flight. 1 flight left to drop, and the other one 3/4 growing. It's been 7 weeks since I pulled those flights, so we'll have another look at them today. I was going to look at them a week ago at 6 weeks, but a cyclone hit Brisbane. It was only a category 1 by the time it crossed the coast, but it still caused a lot of trees to come down. Took out the power. Something like 300,000 or 400,000 people had no power, including us, and it dumped a lot of rain, nearly 400 millimetres of rain in about 3 days, which caused a lot of local flooding. She's a real lake now. You can just see the top of the man cave there. That building's probably 2.5, maybe 3 metres high, so she's pretty deep. It's about as big as it ever gets, I think. Right round to there. I'm not sure what the tides are doing, but it is a tidal creek. So if the tides are high, it's going to get higher. No, it's a roadway. Anyway, let's have a look at these birds. They're looking pretty good. Coming along nicely. These are young cocks. Blue cock. You can see the two flights I pulled are completely growing. Might still have a little bit of blood in them, have to dry out, so it's been 7 weeks. But you can see that pigeon's got a nice stable wing. I can start to get them to fly a bit now. We've got about 2 months till racing starts, so I've got 2 months to get these pigeons fit and ready to race. Pied cock, same thing, last 2 flights are fully growing. He's obviously missing the 8th. which is going to grow up, but it's got a nice stable wing. He'll be able to work quite nicely with a wing like that. That's perfect. And here it is, what, the middle of March, 15th of March at the moment, which is autumn here in Brisbane. Same sort of thing. Last two flights that were cut and pulled are fully grown, look very good. Same on that wing, just got that last 8th, 7th and 8th maybe to go. Look at a couple of the hens. For some reason the hens don't seem to be coming along as well as the cocks. Don't know why that is. They're all treated exactly the same feed, same everything. They haven't had any treatments as far as medication's concerned. Yeah, this bird, I obviously did one here, so it's growing. The 9th flight and the 10th flight is fully grown. So it's absolutely perfect. They can start to fly now. Very nice stable wing. No trouble getting away from that peregrine falcon, which will be hitting them pretty soon. Yeah, they're all exactly the same. Last two flights, 1 or 2, depending on whether I cut 1 or 2. But they've all come along very nicely. All growing that last flight. That there is ready to put into work. So that's pretty much it. Have we got some champions among these? We'll find out in the next couple of months.